So Sheryl Swoopes she's not only a Caitlin Clark hater. Sorry, L. Duncan, you were wrong about that one. But, like, she is a generational Caitlin Clark hater. Like, this is Skip Bayless to LeBron level of hate. And I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Like, there is, like, levels of hate where it's like, the person does not believe what they're saying. The person doesn't necessarily believe what they're saying all the time, but they just want to keep the shtick up because, well, again, people are watching all of her content. Like, people are watching all of her content. So I think that people are going to be happy out with this. Or, well, they're going to be happy out with this, the people that are running the podcast. I am surprised, though, that the WNBA is pushing this that much. Not necessarily because Sheryl Swoopes is one of the greatest of all time. Like, never take that away from Sheryl Swoopes. But, like, because it's actually gotten ridiculous. Before we get on to it, if you guys agree, subscribe. We're trying to 27.2k by the end of the day. But I don't like. There are some times when I don't want to play something because I'm scared. Like, most of the time I'm cool with playing something because I know my way around. Like, I do know my way around fair use laws, and I normally am very much on the stage of like again, clipping a few seconds of a podcast out in a 10-minute long video is 100% transformative, but this is one of those times where I just don't feel the risk. You guys can listen to it yourself, because I think this guy's tweeted it out, whoever Ken Swift is, but he has tweeted that out, and basically what was said was, in fairness, she didn't say anything negative about Caitlin Clark for the first time in a while, but she talks about how great the Fever have been, and what she has said is, for how good the Fever are, Lexi Hull came out and is shooting well. Kelsey Mitchell's been great. Aaliyah Boston's got a double-double. Those players are really, with those players, the Fever have got a really good chance of doing well in the playoffs. Those players are great. like it's not like that's like saying, let's just say the Golden State Warriors in 2017, who were the best team ever. Man, the Golden State Warriors, or let's just say the 2017 Cavs with LeBron James, the best Cleveland Cavaliers team there ever was. Imagine him coming out and saying, Skip Bayless would say, it's like, the Cavs look good, like, Kyrie's playing really well, J.R. Smith's playing well, they've just added Kyle Korver to the team who's shooting the lights out. Like, that's a team they're gonna really do well in the playoffs. That team could be great. Isn't that something that would come out of Skip Bayless's mouth? And the Sheryl Swoopes is now very careful with what she's saying. She doesn't want to say negative about Caitlin Clark, because if she does, then people are going to go at her. But if she doesn't, then people are going to be like, oh, this is people just clutching at straws. She doesn't even need to say anything about, she doesn't need to say anything about Caitlin Clark and her fans go up in arms. And she talked about the Chicago Sky. Like, I've never heard her mention Kennedy Carter while talking about Chicago Sky, by the way. Like, Kennedy Carter should be as pissed off as anyone, because it must be something against, not just Caitlin Clark, against the initial CC. I've never heard her mention Kennedy Carter. And then the funniest part about this is that Sheryl Swoopes implied Caitlin Clark can only pass and she's just stat padding assists. Then she's talking about Angel Reese. And by the way, Angel Reese was really good against the Mercury. Don't get it twisted. She was really good against the Mercury. This is not an anti-Angel Reese thing. But then she just goes like, oh, Angel Reese, like, she had 20 boards, like, that's so impressive, which it is. But it's like, I'm going to call Coach Spoon. It was a joke that Coach Spoon took her out of the game before she was able to get her 20 and 20 game. I'm like, so you basically were like, yeah, go let her stat pad. And I understand that, by the way. I would have kept her in the game too. They were down 20 points. Look, the Sky are going to get blown out in more than 50% of the remaining games this season. The Sky suck. Angel Reese doesn't suck. Kennedy Carter doesn't suck. Camila Cardoso doesn't suck. Michaela Onyenwere doesn't suck. They just pretend the 3-point line doesn't exist. Angel Reese is playing with a bunch of high-energy defensive bricklayers, which they're fine. Again, having one or two of them on a team is fine, not an entire team of them, other than Rachel Bannum. They're a team of bricklayers and players who miss a lot of close shots to the basket. Angel Reese is going to average 8 offensive rebounds a game for the rest of the year. She's going to break every rebounding record. which is going to be impressive. The Sky might win one game the rest of the year. And that, like, saying they're going to win 3, they're going to go 3 and is it like, I think they have 15 games left or something? Saying they're going to go 3-12 is like generous to how bad this Sky team is right now. Angel Reese is not a bad player. She's a really good player. But like, this team's going to suck. So I'm all for it. I will not call Angel Reese stat padding in bad games because we watched the Fever suck at the start of the year. And if you were someone that was saying, well, Caitlin Clark, like, it's not her fault, it's her teammates' fault. This, like, what's going on with the Sky is not Angel Reese's fault, it's her teammates' fault. Not that they all suck, but their team sucks. Like, as a collective, they suck. They don't suck individually. It's just you got a bunch of players that can't shoot on a team. That doesn't work in basketball in 2024. But it's funny, though, how the attitude changes. Like, you can't necessarily complain about Caitlin Clark for one thing and then praise Angel Reese for another thing. And that's why, like, look, as much as people want to say I'm some sort of Angel Reese hater, I'm pointing out the obvious that Caitlin Clark is better than Angel Reese. Like, I got hate from some people for saying Caitlin Clark is a better offensive player than Angel Reese. Like, that is how delusional some people are. Like, they're actually that delusional that they're going to argue that she's better on offense. Like, that is a wild take. Sheryl Swoopes probably one of those people, but that is a wild take. But, no, like, it's always, for me, it's always, you got to give grace both ways. And I said it even once I saw the first game with how the Sky looked coming back. I was like, do not put losses on Angel Reese. Just like we did not put the early losses on Caitlin Clark. Anyone with a brain didn't put the early loss on Caitlin Clark. You don't put these losses on Angel Reese because the team's tanking. The team's 100% tanking. So I don't mind what Sheryl Swoopes said necessarily. A lot of people are complaining about that with Angel Reese. I actually like the fact she's saying that, yeah, let Angel Reese play in those blowout games. That's how she's going to get better. Let her take shots she wasn't taking previously. That's if she's going to get better. The team's going to lose. That's fine. You can always lose games at the expense of developing rookies. Teams have done this at the beginning of time. It's just clearly the rookie in Indiana she's already there. She doesn't need to be developed, especially on the offensive end. But it's just when it becomes a complete double standard. And now it's like not even acknowledging that Caitlin Clark is averaging... she's averaging 27 points and not... Or 20... Yeah, 20, round up, 27 points, 9.5 assists, and like 6 boards coming out of the break. And you're talking about all the other players on the team. You mentioned every other player that's even played remotely well. I'm shocked she didn't mention Katie Lou. Katie Lou had a big 3-pointer against Phoenix Mercury. I'm shocked she didn't mention Katie Lou. But yeah, it is like, look, she's just a Skip Bayless of Caitlin Clark, and it's fine. She knows what she's doing. She's probably not going to mention the name Caitlin Clark again. Not because things are said out of context, because I don't think she can help herself hating Caitlin Clark. But if I'm Sheryl Swoopes, I go all in on it. No publicity is bad publicity. Like, you can say dumb stuff. Like, again, LeBron James might be the greatest player of all time. Skip Bayless made a career off hating LeBron James. Look, go and be the number one hater, but just own it. Just own it. Like, this is a cop-out. This is like refusing to mention her name and hyping up everybody else in her team. That is like second-hand hating. If you're gonna hate, own it, because there is a market for Caitlin Clark hate out there. And if you want to become the face of that and get more people listening to your podcast, the WNBA are still going to promote you. They're happy out with that. They're happy out. Like, you can always make a career hating on the best player in the world, as Skip Bayless has shown. But anyway, yeah, Sheryl Swoopes is one of the greatest of all time. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's saying. She knows exactly what she did, and she knew exactly that it was going to be clipped up. I still hate the fact Elle Duncan apologized to her because she is the number one Caitlin Clark hater. I don't hate Sheryl Swoopes, but it's just a fact. It's just a fact of life. That Sheryl Swoopes, from the very start, has absolutely done everything she can to diminish Caitlin Clark for the last year. This isn't like a 2 week ago thing. This is the last year. Like, you've already done 1 year. Skip Bayless lasted 20 years for LeBron. I don't think she lost 20 years, maybe 17, 18. Sheryl Swoopes, you've got 18 more years. Keep it up. Keep it up, because you know what? If you just take it for what it is, it can be funny. Like, if you take it all too seriously, if you take sports media too seriously, then I don't know. I don't know what you listen to sports media for, especially because there's no breakdowns. We're all in the entertainment business, and at the same time, all of our takes can be criticized. All of our takes don't have to be universally agreed with. People can hate us. People can block us. People can call people out on certain takes. At the end of the day, whether you're on TV, whether you're on a WNBA podcast, whether you're on YouTube, we are in the takes business. We're going to be wrong a lot. We're going to be right a lot. And sometimes we're going to irrationally hate a player. We all do. We all have that one player that we just hate. No matter how good they are, we irrationally hate them. And if that player is Caitlin Clark, Sheryl Swoopes, you're going to get a hell of a lot of fans for that being the case. Either way, see you guys.